there. It's great to have you join us on the program Youth Can, a program put together by Independent Television Abuja, where Nigerian youth with innovative ideas converge and share knowledge in terms of changing the negative narrative about youth in Nigeria. I am your host, Osasu Igbinedion. Do well by joining us on our various social media platforms at www.itvAbuja.tv. You can live stream us at www.itvAbuja.tv/live. Our Twitter and Instagram handles are at ITV_Abuja. And our Facebook page is at facebook.com/ITV Abuja NG. As you know, it's the month of August, and the 12th of August every year has been set aside by the United Nations as the International Youth Day. And the theme of the 2020 Youth Day is Youth Engagement for Global Action. It sets the platform to highlight the voices and innovative ideas of youth at the local, national, and global levels in terms of their engagement at the national in changing national and multilateral institutions. I had a chat with the CEO and founder of the Osasu Foundation, Osasu Igbinedion, and we talked about prospects for Nigerian youth towards the 2023 general elections. I'm sure everyone now there would agree with me that in 2019 and prior to the 2019 general elections, the passage of the Not Too Young to Run bill in May 2018 to a large extent gave the youth a platform to run for elective positions during the 2019 general elections. And now the political elites are already strategizing towards 2023. Are the youth doing the same? And how well or how far have we gone in terms of contributing our quota to national development over the years? Those and many other issues formed our discussion. Let me not bore you with too much talk. Let's move straight on to the interview segment with Osasu Igbinedion. Stay with us. The United Nations in 1999 declared August 12th every year as the International Youth Day. The day gives an opportunity to celebrate and mainstream on young people's voices, ideas, and innovations at the local, national, and global levels. As you know, Nigeria is the most populous black nation in Africa, and it has a huge percentage of its population as youth who are under 30. So many people are of the idea that Nigeria needs to harness the huge potentials of its burgeoning youth population so as to boost economic development. But is that the case? Do we see that happening? Are youths doing enough in terms of contributing their quota to national and economic development? Those are many questions on the lips of many. Today, joining me on the program, Youth Can is the CEO and founder the Osasu Foundation, Osasu Igbinedion. It's good to have you here.
It's my pleasure being here. Thank you so much.
Okay, August 12th every year is set aside to celebrate youth globally across the world, and Nigeria is not left out. Would you say the youth of Nigeria, do we have something to celebrate, especially this year, 2020?
Well, this year, 2020, everyone has something to celebrate. Everyone who has breath in their lungs and, is living has something to be thankful for, has something to give God the glory for. So, yes, we do have, things to celebrate. However, we also do have a lot of challenges that we need to sit and deconstruct and then prepare solutions to them. 2020 is a very interesting year, as Professor Patrick Lumumba said on one of my shows. The coronavirus is a beautiful pandemic. It's a beautiful. How did he phrase it? It's a beautiful disaster, right? Because it's also, despite the negative effects of it, it's also been able to teach us new ways of doing things. It's giving us an opportunity to rethink, what it is to be a youth in this nation, and the ways that we can sort of reposition ourselves in this new normal, and to re-engineer the way that we do things, the way that we advocate for policy change that is inclusive, the way that we go about our businesses as young people. I remember in 2017 at the maiden edition of the Osasu Show Symposium, the theme was the new economy and its impact on less privileged citizens. However, the young people in this nation hadn't fully adapted to this new economy, this new digital economy. So the pandemic has really taught us in a beautiful way that we must adapt, we must globalize with the rest, we must adapt to globalization as the rest of the world has. And by doing so, we can start to put our digital footprint forward, we can start to conduct business, we can start to advocate in a more, relatable way in terms of the digital economy. We can start to operate in this new space. It's not even a new space because the internet has been in existence for so long, but we can start to operate in this space that our counterparts, our youth counterparts in America, in the UK, in even Asia are already doing. So this beautiful disaster has been able to teach us that.
Okay, before the pandemic came, would you say Nigerian youth have been doing enough in terms of boosting Nigeria's economy? Do you think they've been contributing enough ideas or innovations into?
Prior to the pandemic, I believe that the youth have done, enough in their capacity and in the capacity in which they've also been giving, right? Because in order for the youth to thrive, we need an enabling environment, we need proper digital infrastructure. So you can't tell them, start to think of innovative ways where Nigeria can start to operate, in this digital economy, but you don't even give them the infrastructure to play with and to explore. Data on the African continent is one of the most expensive anywhere in the world. So even that access to data in order to, explore this terrain of this digital economy is problematic. So we definitely need a better infrastructure in place which would create an enabling environment for youth to explore their full capacity. However, the youth, I believe, are doing or have been doing what they could in their own powers, but there's more that we can all do. I tell my favorite slogan or my life motto is do more. So whatever you feel you're doing well already, do it even better, do more, take on more challenges. You will get exhausted, but as long as you keep pushing, the results will be very gratifying at the end.
Oh yeah, you talked about repositioning ourselves and rethinking being a youth, and you also mentioned that there are some challenges, however, in terms of achieving that. Would you want to highlight some of these challenges and prefer possible solutions that you think would be able to eradicate such challenges?
Most definitely. So in fact, that even ties right into our upcoming symposium, Rethinking Africa. As a youth working on the African continent, I started off in 2015 with my program, and by 2016, when the economic recession hit in Nigeria, we were broke. We had like 15K in our bank account and we needed to pay salaries and everything. So these are the challenges that will come up along the way. So I had to start thinking of ways to diversify our portfolio, diversify our streams of income. And that's why we're here today, about to launch a TV station, TOS TV network. And even the symposium, we're no longer focused on just national issues, just Nigeria. We're now focusing on Pan-African views. So whatever challenges you would come up with, you would face along the way, you can always reposition and re-engineer on ways to scale through them. For me, for the Osasu Show, it was about diversifying my portfolio, not just doing only interviews anymore. I decided to do documentaries, started to do some PR work as well on the side. Then for the Osasu Show Symposium, I stopped focusing on just national issues. Now I'm focusing on Pan-African issues, so those challenges will come up, whether it's monetary, whether it's, ideology-wise, but at the end of the day, you would always come up with something innovative to sort of propel you to the next level in which you need to be at.
Okay. Now, as we've seen, as the pandemic has shown us, we're already in the digital economy. Now speaking outside your capacity, do you think youth were ready to be part of this global evolution?
revolution?
We better be. We don't have a choice. We don't have a choice. We better be. I mean,
you talked about the lack of infrastructure.
Yeah, a lot of young people have. So even if they don't have enough data to maybe take a full course online, but they have enough data to check their Facebook and check their Instagram and all the other ones, right? So we need to now start focusing on, even with the little that we have, how do we sort of multiply that little to plenty? How do we use the little we have in such a, intellectual way that we can maximize the whole benefit of that? Look at, for example, the Ikorodu boys. These are people, young boys living in the slum. They're making movies that have now been recognized globally by Netflix, by Disney, by all these large corporations. So they took the little that they had and they turned it into plenty. So a lot of young Nigerians need to start doing that. You might have 5 naira. That doesn't mean that I have 5 naira, so I shouldn't dream of buying a house one day. Think of how can I apply or multiply that 5 naira into maybe 5 million naira, where I can buy a small plot of land or a small apartment or whatever the situation is. So because you don't have today doesn't mean that you should waste what you have on only what you believe you can afford. So that small money that you have, the data, whether it's 1,000 naira, don't waste it just on Facebook and on Instagram and on Twitter when you're not doing anything productive on those platforms, because we also know those platforms are tools for you to market yourself, for you to sell, for you to do different things. So if you're not doing anything on those platforms, how do you then save that 1,000 naira to maybe make it 5,000 naira? Then sign up to take a course online, or sign up to make your own website or something. So think of ways to always multiply the benefit of whatever it is you have.
Okay, I'm sure the many questions that will be on the mind of men is the fact that how do we begin to change the mindset of youth? How do we begin to reorientate them to think like this? I mean, what we've seen over time is youths, probably those who went to school, after school, they're just sitting at home waiting for government to give you a job, and waiting for a white-collar job. You don't want to go out there to start something, be entrepreneurial. How do we begin to change youth's mindset?
Attitude is one of the hardest things to change. I mean, I was watching an interview yesterday, and the guy said that there's no such thing as a box. So don't even think of thinking outside the box, because your mind is already limitless. So I think youths need to really imbibe that approach in the way they do things. A lot of people feel like, I didn't come from a privileged background, so no need to try, it cannot even happen for me. But I'm sorry, that's going to be your problem, and that's going to be your portion. You can only go as far as your mind will let you go, right? So if you think that you can only achieve this amount of success, then you will only be able to achieve that amount of success. But if you feel you can achieve X, Y, Z, you will be able to achieve that. All you have to do is to be resilient, you have to be focused, you have to be hardworking, and you have to be prayerful, and you will achieve it. I tell people all the time, your net worth is your network. Your network is your net worth. So the people that you know, the way you build your relationships, the way you relate to people, your humility is so important. Young people nowadays, they just want it instantly. They want everything, easy. And they feel they're like, it's my entitlement.
That entitlement mentality.
It must be given to me because I'm a young person. You must listen to me because no, I must not listen to you because you're a young person. I must listen to you because you know your onions, because you're educated, because you're here with your facts and your information. You're well prepared. Your business strategy is better than everyone else out there, so I'm patronizing you and not the other person. I'm not going to buy from you just because you're a youth. I'm not going to vote for you just because you're a youth. I'm not going to listen to you just because you're a youth. So you need to develop yourself, and you need to be humble while you're doing that. You need to serve before you can lead. Okay. So I feel for young people out there, and it also starts from the home. I know a lot of people, once they tell their parents, I'm not doing this anymore, I'm not doing that anymore, I'm tired of this, they talk to me anyhow, or they overworked me. The parents say, I beg, go let them not kill you. Is it because we don't have much? No, no, no.
Right.
You know, those are the parents that are making their children forever living in perpetual poverty. If I ever went back home and said, oh, I quit my job, or I quit my course, or I quit this, my parents, are you okay? Go back and finish what you started. You must finish what you started. That's the kind of work ethic that parents need to imbibe in their children. And unfortunately, some parents have failed to do that. But then it's now your responsibility as a youth to imbibe those work ethics in yourself. Nobody owes you anything.
No, there's this general perception that young people, youth who are from privileged homes, backgrounds, who already have that platform, they get it easy. Even though there are other youths out there who might have the capacity and competence to do whatever it is as equal to what they can do. Do you share in that idea?
Most definitely not, and I think that's one of the most, unfortunate ideologies ever, because most times, most youth then use that as their own excuse not to work hard. Like, those ones, the reason Osasu can't succeed is that she already has a name, she already has a platform. I cannot achieve that, so let me just relax and be in my own little corner. Unfortunately, if you feel that way again, it's your loss.
Right.
It's not going to be my problem, it's going to be your problem. I share my story with people all the time that when I moved back to this country in 2014, or since I moved back to this country in 2014, I've not taken one penny from my family members. Everything I have today, yes, everything I've had today is through my hard work and my work ethic. So if it were just easy because I was born as XYZ person, then I could have just been chilling at home and said, oh, you won't be interviewing me here today because there will be nothing to talk about.
Exactly.
So I'll just be getting less, and I'll be useless because I don't know how to work, So what I'm saying is that never ever, it's so unfortunate because a lot of people have this mentality, but never ever feel like, okay, if I was this, it would have been a better situation. Make your current situation the best that there is. My greatest privilege is having quality education. It's the greatest gift my parents bequeathed to me. And that gift is what I intend to give my children as well. But I know it's the only thing I'll owe them. Just the way my parents said, your education is the only thing I owe you. Everything else is a privilege. It's just the icing on the cake. That's if I even decide to give you that. Yes. So I feel like for the young people out there whose parents have been, who they've been fortunate to have parents that have sent them to school, they need to take that education, run with it, and look for ways to maximize the benefits of that education.
Okay, that's a great one. Now let's talk about youth in politics. Like we've always said before, in 2018, the North York to run to a large extent gave the youth a platform for that, to be able to come out and run for offices in the 2019 elections. Now we're in 2020, already looking forward to 2023. Even though there's a pandemic, the elites are already strategizing towards the 2023 elections. Do you see youths doing that? Can you identify any youth who are already?
I see a lot of youth groups that are actually starting to mobilize and build their strategic plan towards 2023. The Youth Initiative, an advocacy group for Africa, YIGA, I hope I got their acronym properly, led by Samson Usodu and Cynthia. I know they are working on it to ensure not only youth but a lot of young women as well are able to participate in politics come 2023. But most importantly, the work starts now. In fact, the work started as soon as the 2019 general elections ended. Ensuring that you're registered to vote, ensuring that you build constituency support, ensuring that you're starting to raise the financial capital that it takes to run successfully and win, ensuring that you're building your network. Again, I say all the time that your network is your net worth. So you might have the money, but you might not have the network and you'll still lose. But if you have the network, the reality is that you most likely will be able to raise the funds needed for you to run that election, and you will win because you have the backing of those that also matter. And also going back to your constituency, all politics is local. You can't be in Abuja and saying, I'm a youth, vote for me in Kaduna State. How's that going to happen? You need to feel the pulse of the people in your constituency, and you need to be able to interact with them, relate with them, share in their pain. So by the time you get into power, you are not just another politician that is there to chop the national cake, but you're actually going to do something different. You're going to represent the youth constituency in a different way from those old people that have been there for decades and are doing nothing. So I believe that those young people who are interested in politics, they need to rethink the way that they're going to do politics when they get there.
Okay, considering the lifestyle of youths, I mean, youth of nowadays, we talked about not just going there to just go and cut your share of the national cake again. Can you identify, or have you identified any youths basically in Nigeria who you think have the capacity and competence to actually do
so many of them? Should I start naming? You have Hamza.
Name a few.
Hamza Lawal, Chief Executive Officer of Connected Development. Shewun Onigbide, I hope I pronounced his name right.
Onigbide, yes.
Budget, CEO of Budget. You have Abiodun Esset, Special Advisor to the AMAC Chairman, I think on gender matters. You have Rinsola Abiola. She was on the board of APC at some point, youngest person on the board of APC at some point. You have, what's this lady's name? Adora Onyechere, who used to work with AIT Kataki. She has her own show now on her WeWe network, Women's Empowerment Network. You have, I'm not interested in politics. I'm not interested in politics, but you have myself who is here dominating the private sector, but yeah, I will definitely be behind the scene and pushing to help young people. I literally ask God, please give me the financial capacity to support more young people to run for office. I do not mind sponsoring, at least 5 or 10, young aspirants in 2023. Okay. As long as I have the financial capacity, why not? And I believe I will. So
amen.
Amen. So we have to all support each other. We all have to lack of talent in the youth category is not an issue. We have brilliant minds. I just mentioned a few for you. So we have people with the capacity, we have people with the with the intellectual prowess to be able to assume these positions. So lack of capacity in the youth is not an issue, but they need to be given a chance, and also they need to understand that politics is not just about talking about it, but actually doing.
Do we see mentorship still play in the Nigerian political space? I mean, you would agree with me to a large extent that plays a major role in terms of bringing youth on board.
Mentorship is important in all facets. It's important in politics. It's important in business. It's important even in the development sector. But what we see largely in politics is godfatherism, or godmotherism, than mentorship. And for the youths that want to get involved, I would say don't look at politics as a totally dirty game. It is dirty, but don't look at it as a totally dirty game, because you'd be less prone to want to have a godfather or a godmother. But when you get in there, when you have that support system, which politicians call godfathers, godmothers, when you get in there, you can then build your relationship to a proper mentorship versus a godfather or godmother. Because I'll explain to you, the difference now is that the godfathers, you get in there, they demand from you. They don't give you any, tangible advice. Yeah. They don't tell you, okay, this is how it's done, this is how to do it. Well, no, they just put you there and demand from you. You're their money back. But you would have to work with these people whether or not you like it to get into office. But once you've gotten in there, start to build more of a mentorship, or mentor-mentee relationship versus a godfather godson, money bag relationship.
Okay.
So yes, mentorship is missing in the political space, but unfortunately it's due to the dirtiness of the political terrain. But things can change once you get in there. You have to get your hands dirty in order to clean up a dirty environment anyways.
Okay, it's August and it's the month of youth, even though it's no longer the day. We've passed August 12. What's your message to Nigerian youth out there in terms of developing themselves and contributing to develop their nation and all of that?
Well, Nigerian youth out there, keep working hard. I keep saying this, I sound like a broken record. Maybe that's why I feel exhausted, but
right.
Keep working hard, keep your eyes on the ball. Whatever career field it is that you're practicing in, find a mentor in that career field, humble yourself before that person and serve relentlessly, and you would learn so many valuable skills and lessons that will take you such a long way. So be humble, be hardworking, be prayerful, and be stubborn about your dreams.
All right, thank you very much, Miss Osasu Igbinedion, the CEO and founder of the Osasu Show Foundation. It was nice having you.
It's a show, Osasu.
Okay, it's still in commemoration of the International Youth Day, and it's the program Youth Can. We'll take a break. When we get back, we'll move on to other segment or the closing remarks. Just stay with us.
All right there, Osasu Igbinedion has said it all. If you aspire to be a leader in the nearest future, all you have to do is to start from the position where you find yourself, wherever you are. Ensure that you serve the leaders ahead of you well before you become a leader to be served in the future. It's the program Youth Can, and I'm sure you've picked out a thing or two from the discussion I had with the CEO and founder of the Osasu Show Foundation, Osasu Igbinedion. Don't forget to follow us on our various social media platforms. Our Twitter and Instagram handles are at ITV_Abuja, and our Facebook page is at facebook.com/ITV Abuja NG. And until I come your way again next week, remember, for us to be the leaders of tomorrow, we have to start today. Yes, you can. I remain your host, Osawana Me Ibizugbi. See you next week.